and welcome back to the course of Machine Learning 0 to Hero with Python. Today, I would like to show you how to get in the dataset and how to import the libraries in Python. Although, I also explain the detail about our dataset that we will use for this chapter. Alright, let's get started. First of all, you can open your browser and download the dataset through my GitHub repository. My GitHub repository is github.com/ihwan12/ml_0_2_hero. Or you can also download the dataset using the link that I shared to you in the description below. Once you download the dataset, you want to organize your folder like this. Okay, I recommend you to organize your directory like this in order to ease you make better understanding for this course, because we will have a lot of chapters, so I want you to keep all of your files organized. Cool. So we have like 5 chapters. So currently we are reaching chapter 2 about data preprocessing. So in this file, in this folder, you can find the data.csv, and later you can also find this template, data-preprocessing-template.py. Okay, so let's discuss about the dataset. So what does this dataset about? This dataset has 4 columns that contains country, age, salary, and purchase, and 10 lines, 10 observations, and basically this contains information of customers in some companies. And the first 3 columns are information of these customers, like the country, the age, and the salary. And the 4th column, purchase, here sales. If yes or no, the customer buy the product of the company. So we have to distinguish something very important here that we will distinguish for the rest of the course. It's the difference between the independent variables and dependent variables. So independent variables are the first 3 columns: country, age, and salary, and the dependent variables is purchase here at the 4th column. And in any machine or any model, we are going to use some independent variables to predict dependent variables. So that means here that with these 3 first columns, right, the 3 independent variables, we are going to predict if yes or no the customer purchase a product. Okay, so that's the first distinction that we really need to understand, and it's very important to do this section because the data preprocessing steps that we are going to in this section, we will have to do this for all the machine learning models we are going to make. So it's really essential to know how to manage this, but don't worry, it's going to be very simple. Okay, now we are going to open the spider. So do you still remember how to open the spider, right? So first of all, you open the Anaconda Navigator. Oh, I almost forgot. So I kindly downgrade the version of Spider. In the previous section, I already tell you about the Spider 4, right? So now I downgrade the Spider version to 3.3.6. How to do that? It's very simple. You can just go to this icon, click this, and then install specific version and choose version 3.3.6. okay, just click this, and then it's automatically installed the Spider version 3.3.6. If you feel any error or any problem, feel free to contact me by fill the comment below, or you can email me. Okay, if you already installed the Spider version 3.3.6, so you can just open the Spider. Okay, so from here we want to create a data preprocessing template so that we can use this kind of template for all the chapter in this course. So let's get started. So here I created a new file in Python that I called data preprocessing template, because we are starting to build our template. And here the first step to importing the libraries. Okay, so what is actually the library is? A library is a tool that you can use to make a specific job. And what's so cool about this is that you just have to give some inputs, then the library will do the job for you and it will return some outputs. That is exactly what you're looking for. So that's really cool and useful. And we are going to mostly use libraries during this course to make our machine learning models the most efficient as possible. Okay, so we are going to use many libraries during the course to make our machine learning models, but there are 3 essential libraries that we are going to use every time. So the first step of our data processing template is to actually import these 3 essential libraries, so that we don't have to take care of that later. Okay, so let's import the first one. The first one is Numpy. And to import a library in Python, you have to type import like this, and import the library name is Numpy like this. So that's the name of the library. And then you can make a shortcut to use it faster when you use it in your code later. And to use the shortcut, you can add s space np like this. Okay, so the name of the library is a Numpy and the name of the shortcut is np. Okay, so what is Numpy? So Numpy is basically a library that contains mathematical tools, and basically this is the library that we need to include any types of mathematics in our code. And since our course machine learning models are based on mathematics, then we will absolutely need Numpy from time to time to do them, but not all the time, you will see. Okay, so that's the first library, and now let's import the second library, which is really essential, and it's called matplotlib. Okay, import matplotlib. And actually in this library we are going to import a sub library, which is pyplot, and as a short name we are going to use plt. Okay, so what is the matplotlib.pyplot? As you probably guess, this library is a library that is going to help us plot nice charts. Really, anytime you want to plot something in Python, you use matplotlib. It contains very intuitive and useful tools, and you are going to see why later in this course. Okay, so that's for the two first libraries. And now the last library that we need is the pandas library. So we can import pandas. So let's import it, and I'll just explain what it does. Okay. Alright, so PD is the name of the shortcut for this library. So the pandas library is really the best library to import datasets and manage datasets. So you are going to see that it's really intuitive as well. And we are going to use pandas most of the time to import our datasets, and we will sometimes use it to manage them. So I will show you later in this course. So now we will run this code. Remember how to run this code, right? So you can run and press F9, or you can run by Control Enter. See, this run perfectly. However, if you face the error by, for example, there is no module called Numpy, or there is no module called pandas, so no worries, don't be panicked. So you can go to find Anaconda prompt. So you can find the Anaconda prompt like this, and then you want to activate your virtual environment by typing like this, conda activate your virtual environment name. Okay, and then you want to install all the libraries by pip space install space your library names. Also, you can just install all the libraries in one line, for example, like this. Okay, and press enter. Then you will install every libraries that you want to install here. Because I already have that, so there's a message requirement already satisfied. So you can do by your own. Once you're done, you can just minimize it or you can close it because you don't need it anymore. Right. So you already can run the importing libraries here, right? So basically, these are the 3 essential libraries that we need. And next, we want you to import the dataset that we already have. So the first thing to do before starting to import a dataset is, of course, to set a working directory. Yeah, how to set a working directory in Spider? It's very simple. So you can just go to this icon, this directory icon, click this one, and then choose the directory that you want to work on. For example, this one, we want to working with this directory and chapter 2 data preprocessing. Just click this and then select folder. And then when you navigate to the file explorer, you can find all the files inside of this chapter 2 data preprocessing folder. So this is our working directory. Okay, as I explained before, the best library to import the dataset is pandas. So right now we are going to use pandas to import the dataset. So we are going to declare a new variable that is going to be the dataset itself, and we are going to simply call it dataset. Okay. Now immediately we will use pandas to import the data.csv dataset. So what we have to do is use the shortcut pd, then you type dot and then read, or you can click tab. That will show some hint all the function that is available under pandas. So the one that we need is read underscore CSV. So press enter in here, and then inside of the double quote we can fill the data.csv. That is our dataset name. That's perfect. So let's select this line and execute this one. Okay, perfect. So okay, as you can see in the console line, the code was executed correctly. So that means that we correctly imported our data set. And if we go to Variable Explorer like this, now here we can see that the dataset is actually here. And if we double click it, the dataset, so we have our 4 columns: country, age, salary, and purchase. And we have 10 observations. So you have to understand that index in Python start at 0. So here the first observation index is 0. That is fine. So we have our 10 observations. Okay, now we want to close this dataset. And now there is something very important to understand in machine learning in Python. It's that we have a data set, but we need to distinguish the matrix of features and the dependent variable factor. So right now, what we are going to do is we are going to create the matrix of features that if I go back to my data set, here we are going to create the matrix of the 3 independent variables. So basically we are going to put in a variable x, okay, that there's going to be the matrix, all those observations here. So basically the 3 columns here which are independent variables columns, and the 10 lines, which are the 10 observations. And then we will create the dependent variable vector, which is going to be the last columns here with the 10 observations. Okay, so let's do this. Let's click minimize here. Okay, so we are going to call it x equal, and then we are going to use the dataset variable that we just created, dataset dot, then we are going to take all the columns of features, all the columns of the independent variables, and to do this we are going to type dot ilog bracket colon comma colon -1. So don't worry about that, I will explain everything. And then we add the dot values. Okay, what we did just do here by putting the code in here, that means that we take all the lines, because what's on the left of this coming here is the lines of the dataset, and what's on the right of this comma is other columns. So by putting this code in here, that means that we take all the lines, and then at the right of this come up type called column -1. So that means that we take all the columns except the last one. -1 means that we don't include the last one, and that values means that we want to take all the values that just the Python syntax, and that is how it works. So we are going to see. So we execute this line. And now let's type here x in console. Okay, and as you can see, we have our 3 first columns. And we don't have the last column purchase. That's good. That's our matrix. That's the matrix of features of matrix of independent variables. And you will understand step by step why we need to do this in Python. Okay, so I'm going to click close here, and now what we have to do is to create the dependent variable vector. Okay, so we're going to call it y equal, and now we're going to do exactly the same thing. So we want to copy all the line above and then paste here. And we want to take the last column, so it's going to be the same. We're going to take all the lines here with the column here and with the column here, and the right of the comma are going to choose the last column, which is. So we have to input here the index of the last column, where we can get the idea which column is from our dataset. As I said earlier, Python index is starting from 0. So basically country is 0, age is 1, salary is 2, and purchase is 3. So we already know which column that we should to take. Okay, so I want to close here, and then we put 3 here, okay, as a column. So we run it using Control Enter. And then if we type y in the console, we can see a no, yes, no as the output of the purchase. Okay, so that's it. We imported the dataset and prepared the data correctly. Alright, so this is the end of section 1, getting and importing dataset. We will continue to how to handle missing data on the next chapter. Hope you enjoyed this course. Enjoy machine learning and have a lovely day.